So I bristle a little bit when people paint a picture of Dylan that's not exactly true. He's a really respectful kid. So I don't know. He needs to probably not talk much now is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree with you on the respectful thing. I met Dylan twice. Super nice guy, genuine, normal dude. The issue I have is that it's bullshit. He thinks he has the audacity to make any negative comments towards Nebraska when he's part of the reason Nebraska struggled and failed over the past 2 years. He is the leader, or was the leader of the team. He was the reason that Nebraska didn't beat Illinois in 2024 and probably didn't beat Ohio State that same season. If Dylan is the reason, then why is he taking shots at Nebraska's coaching staff's talent level, especially when his own uncle was the offensive line coach and Nebraska's players who he's still working out with today? I think for him to make those comments would have made sense if he wasn't the reason that Nebraska struggled. But since I put a lot of the blame on him, rightfully so, the dude got paid a lot of money to be the quarterback at Nebraska. I don't think you can go to a different school and then make those comments. I would have just pled the fifth, not said anything. It was what it was, and talk positively about what Oregon is, not what Nebraska wasn't. Anthony Calandria, I do not believe has made any negative comments about the UNLV staff, the UNLV players, or anything else that's happened in his past before he came to Nebraska.
One thing he did say, though, the other day, see, this doesn't get, it's not the same thing. It's not, I use the word incendiary. Dylan's a hot button. He's a lightning rod like Adrian became. I mean, it's remarkable to see what happens to these guys. Calandria did say the other day that the Mountain West's not near as good as the Big Ten. So he did kind of take a roundabout shot. I was surprised he said that, but he did. But nobody's making a big deal of that. I doubt the Las Vegas Sun is, up in arms about it right now.
It's such a different time, right? Like back when Adam played, and obviously in all the time that you've covered Nebraska, Steve, players weren't the celebrities they are today, and people weren't picking apart every single word they said. People didn't care as much. Now, because everyone's front facing, they're on camera, they have their own platforms and their own followers, everything is nitpicked, and guys can go viral with whatever it is, and fans are way more involved, right?
Yeah.
What was it like back then if someone would make a comment? Would people be up in arms, or was it just kind of like brushed under the rug and not a big deal? I'm sure, Adam, you could have gotten away with saying a lot if you'd have been a transfer to or from Nebraska, right?
I literally had I remember doing media training when we got to Nebraska, because they're like, if you get pulled over, we're going to wake up the next day, it'll be in the newspaper. And they literally told us this, and they warned us about it. And they said, if you're a Nebraska football player, this is part of it, and you got to either embrace it or you're going to not be very happy, because it's part of it. And they also gave us a few things on what to say to certain questions that you might get. They just prepped you a little bit on a little bit of media training. I think with Dylan, what Nebraska got was a 5-star talent. I don't know that we got a 5-star leader. And that might be an example with some of the comments he just made where it wasn't bad. I've never had an interaction with him where I thought he was rude, to Sip's point. I always thought he was respectful. I never had an issue in that vein. When it comes to the hardworking people of Nebraska, my dad grew up on a small farm in Geltner, Nebraska. My in-laws, if you ever heard of Brule, Nebraska out west, they've had the same farm for 110 years. I take great pride in that. It's not the corn part that I took a little umbrage with. It was the lack of respect intent behind the statement, or at least how it came across to me, that I took a little bit of umbrage with. So for me, he is a lightning rod. It kind of comes with the territory, getting paid a lot. Like, comments do get picked apart a lot more now than they ever used to, but you also get more celebrity. You also get paid more because of it as well. So there's going to be a give and take.
Yeah. The money changes a lot.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, as far as that, him being a leader, God, you're asking a lot of a freshman to come in and lead a program like Nebraska. I think they ask too much. I mean, I hope they don't make the mistake again by just handing that high-profile quarterback everything. Basically got handed everything.
To be fair, the difference was they wanted Dylan so bad they were willing to give him the keys. And I'm not sure Dylan was coming here if they wouldn't have given him the keys. So you think Dylan was committing to Nebraska if what was his name? I can't remember his name now.
Kyle McCormick.
Kyle McCord. So Kyle McCord comes.
I'm sorry, it's McCord, not McCormick.
So Kyle McCord comes to Nebraska. Do you think Dylan's coming?
I mean, it's no.
What I was told is no.
No.
What I was told by people close to the situation, Sip, is no. And the answer was no.
Pretty sure, yeah. I mean, and also you can kind of do the other ways. If would McCord come if Dylan's coming?
No.
Would McCord come?
No, neither of them would have
get
come.
them both?
But the choice was made that we were going to give in to the demands of you're going to be QB1 right out the gate. And at the time, I mean, hindsight's 2020. At the time, all three of us were in agreement that you have to take Dylan and you have to take the shot. Hindsight again is 2020. You can't go back. I'm glad they made the move they did, and it was an awesome ride for the short period of time we had him. But it was what it was. Now
there was another quarterback. If I said his name, you'd know who it is. But there was another quarterback who was trying to use Dylan's same quarterback coach, and that wasn't received well, and he was no longer supposed to use that quarterback coach either. So it kind of goes all over the place, though, if you will. So
yeah, there was a lot going on during that time. But one thing that has happened during that time is Nebraska has fielded a lot of players and developed a lot of guys who haven't left in the portal, and some guys who've come from other schools who were developed other places, which leads me to Nebraska having an extremely experienced roster. And Phil Steele ranks them as number 8. Just to give you an idea of some other teams that Phil Steele says have a lot of returning experience. It's South Carolina, Maryland, UCLA, Virginia, BYU, Houston, Army. Nebraska obviously isn't up there in terms of recent win history with the Indianas and Ohio States, but at least they have something to claim. That's that they've got a lot of experience in this room. Do you think that it matters that much that they have all of this experience, or what are the pros to having guys that have played a bunch of football?
I was really interested in Adam's answer on this, Connor, because I'll preface your comments, because you played and you were once young and then you got old, and then you got a beard.
I was wondering where you're going with the once young thing, and then you hammered it home. So I appreciate that.
So there you go. I want to hear why does it matter so much?
I think there's a couple of things. Think about John Calipari when he took over Kentucky basketball, like 10, 12 years ago, it was the one and dones, and he won a national title. They went to another Final Four, but then it fizzled. And then Kentucky was struggling to be ranked, and now he's not coaching there. He's at Arkansas. So you can get young, talented guys, but there's a couple of things. What's their maturity level? We talked about Dylan being thrust into that leadership spot. Was he ready or not? Was that fair or not? So you might get a couple of guys who can handle it, but the next guy might not be. And then the next guy might not be. And then what's the maturity level? What's the experience level in those intense moments? And then you talk about, we're going to get into it here in a minute, Nebraska's improvements in the weight room, being stronger and leaner than they've ever been, and having 20 plus guys who run over 21 miles an hour. It's the longer you're in the strength and conditioning program, the more, we call it stacking days. You get better. You keep stacking days. Well, young guys can't stack days that haven't happened yet. But the longer you're in the program, you stack days as far as experience, understanding of the game, understanding of the scheme, reading and reacting faster, but then physically in the weight room too. Look at recent national champions. Look at Indiana. They had I forget the average starting age of their players, but the average starting age of their players was like 25 or something like that. That's older than 27 of the 32 first-round draft picks in the NFL last year. Okay, so you look at Michigan a few years ago. They had most of that team come back and they won the national championship. Look at Ohio State. They retained most of that roster. It was that experience along with the talent that allowed those teams to have a whole lot of success. Will Nebraska win championships this year or compete at that level? I don't know. Nobody's going to expect that. But I do think it's fair to say they're older, they're more experienced, they've stacked days in the weight room. And to me, that's real optimism, not